Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about something that might sound a little bit weird, and it's about survival purposes of a wheelchair. But before we do that, if you're interested in detective stories, this is the first part of an 11-part series that I wrote. It's called Bloody Crosses, it's in Dutch. If you're interested, look down in the description. So, wheelchairs. What are the survival purposes of a wheelchair? Yeah, many people would say, yeah, if you're injured or just to mobilize people who are immobile. Well, there are actually more things you can do with a wheelchair than you probably think, and I will show you all of them. First of all, I want to mention, if you're gonna buy a wheelchair, don't be a cheapskate and buy one that is only like 20 bucks, because those are usually made out of very, very, very cheap metal that will crack when a plus size person gets inside of it. So yeah, I would advise to get a decent one, but not the too expensive one. Another thing that I want to say is try to get one that you can fold up. Why? Because if you have one that you can fold up, then there is a benefit that you can flatten it, like you can see. It is just very flat, and you can store them whenever you do not need them. Or if you're going on a bug out, or you're going to get someone who's paralyzed or needs a wheelchair for some reason from the hospital, then that way you can put it in your car and you can get it to that person in case that person needs it. So I will open this wheelchair right now. As you can see, it's very quickly opened. I will put this a little bit lower. So, yeah, it is just a good wheelchair. I would also advise get a wheelchair that is not filled with air, because tires with air could get flat, and that's a little bit annoying, especially during a crisis situation where spare parts or spare tires or means to fix them are not readily available. So get full rubber ones, I would say. These last longer, especially during a bug out. So, why would a wheelchair be handy? First of all, I'm a lazy bastard sometimes, so I had the idea. This is one of the ideas that I bought with it, because I needed a chair for my desk where I work it. So I thought, what if I get one of those rolling chairs? What if I got a wheelchair? And that idea got into this because I thought about the other things so that I could do with it. So it's multifunctional, cheaper than a lot of one of those desk chairs that you have, and it's a little bit more fun because you can just roll around with it, just all around. And yeah, you can just use it first of all as a desk chair. As you can see, if you want to go back, you need to get a pencil up, get out, or you need to go to the fridge for getting a beer. You can get to the fridge and get a beer without standing up. Yeah, I know it's not really survival, but it's just a way to reduce costs. Instead of buying a chair that you probably need, with this you have a chair. It's comfy, and yeah, you can use it for other things that I'm going to tell you now. The other thing that you can do is obviously when you need a wheelchair because you have got a wound that you will need some time to cure, but you cannot stand up, and it's like a broken ankle, broken leg, or whatever that it is that you had, that you're immobilized for a certain time. I did this because some people in my family had some medical problems and they probably need a chair. So I thought to myself, what if they need a wheelchair for a certain time? Instead of going to the renting one from the hospital or getting one from the insurance, which can take a lot of time, you can borrow this from me. So it's in case somebody is wounded and they still need to be mobile, and it's good for them. And yeah, it's a little bit bonding. So that's already another thing that you can do with this. Another thing is a wheelchair in case somebody is bad at foot during a bug out. Yeah, if somebody is bad with a bug out, is not able to walk with a bug out because of a sprained ankle or broken leg or whatever, you can pop them into the chair, and it's actually, if you, I do not claim that you can ride off-road with this, but it's more handier than somebody who is crippled and needs constantly be put up by somebody else whose hands are now tied. So yeah, you can push somebody else, or they can push themselves, which is a little bit exhausting, but it's possible to do this if somebody else is in it. And another thing you can do is, during a bug out, you can take the bug out bag from the person for who the wheelchair is and pop it right on the back of the wheelchair. If you probably can see it, I'll put this a little bit lower. So that way, even a bigger bug out bag can be placed upon it, and that way, a little bit of the load can be more dispersed in the bug out group. And even if you do not have a person who needs a wheelchair could be an asset, like one of those pulling carts, especially if you live in the city or another place where it's more paved and you need to bug out. That way you can take your part of your supplies and hang it on the back like a bug out bag, place it on top of the sitting pad of the wheelchair. It usually can take a person up to around 120 kilograms. So yeah, you can carry 120 kilograms of supplies with this, and pour it and push it forward on paved roads in cities if you need to bug out. So that's actually a good thing, but yet again, it could be a little bit feasible. So be aware of your OPSEC and of your surroundings, that nobody will start to plunder or rob it. But it's better than nothing if you have nothing else. Especially, this is actually handy when you live in an apartment. If you do not have room for a bike, a bug out vehicle, or perhaps a big pulling cart, then this is something that you can flatten, store it away, and get it out when you need it for bugging out, medical purposes, or whatever. So that's already another thing you can do with it. Yeah. So I think I'm around with it. It was just a small idea that I had to buy something that was multifunctional and have a desk chair at the same time. And yeah, it is just a small idea that you can do to save some money, help other people, and improvise as a bug out cart, pulling cart, or in this case a pushing cart. Yeah, it is also, and perhaps it is a little bit thinking outside of the box. But if there is a bug in scenario and you live alone at a certain place and you have broken your leg and there is no way that other persons can help you during the bug in, or professional medical help can come, but you still need to be around your home, you can always have a chair of your own and still walk around for self defense, to get food, to cook, to do perhaps a little round in the garden if your place is built up to it. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do with a wheelchair, and yeah, especially if you're sometimes a lazy bastard like me. So this was it. I would say thank you for watching. Subscribe, like. If you know any other purposes for a wheelchair for survival purposes, let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn new perspective or new ideas. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Cheers.